Okay.
Are we recording?
We are recording.
Am I looking at you or the camera?
You're looking at the camera, which I'm standing behind. So
Okay.
I appreciate all of this. Okay, so Sophie, for this movie, what I want to talk about is what drew you to Iceland as a location for this movie, and where did your inspiration come for this movie?
When I first came to Iceland, I had no idea I was going to shoot a movie here. I obviously was just recommended to come here for a summer, which turned out to be later on 3 working summers, third of which I decided that it's about time I tell the story that I wanted to tell for the past 4 years. And the name of the movie, it's called Dottir, so it's basically like a universal, it means daughter in Icelandic. And this is like this universal name that I feel is like, because we don't know who we really are, most of the times anyway. And you know, we have all these roles in life, like we're mothers and fathers and daughters and sons, but really we don't really know like who we are. So obviously for me, having this concept of like being the daughter of the earth and like coming to Iceland with nothing but like being stripped away of everything, and just coming here and exploring that abyss, this void. This void that a person can have in oneself after they have come through like a journey of nothing, and just explore that and to like really fully experience. And it was very similar to like my story. Like I came to Iceland, I was ready for everything. I was like changing my life, and all of a sudden I was not prepared for what I saw. It was basically probably the most beautiful country I've ever seen. It was very empty, but at the same time very full. And I can't properly explain like how that made me feel, but it was like full of conflict, full of this mysterious drama, and I felt this is the place I do actually want to tell my story at, I think.
And was it hard all those summers here? And was it hard challenging yourself to find yourself in the abyss? What did that feel like? Did you ever feel like you found yourself?
Yes and no. So the summers of working, because I worked at a restaurant, are really hard. It's like a manual labor, but at the same time I feel like it really kind of like drew me out of myself, and that made me able to actually dig deep into my insides and into my soul and like find those words that I want to tell. So I think that's good, you know, the manual labor actually, and the difficulty and the hardness of it all, it just like kind of like helped me to be able to express all that.
Okay. And the themes of Dottir, the themes of the movie, can we talk a little bit about those and what they are and what they mean to you?
So, for me, when I start to think about like what it should be, I knew it was gonna be like relationship-wise very kind of like small scaled. So it was going to be very intimate all the time. And I just feel like many people, especially after COVID, they felt, and myself included, felt excluded out of the world at the same time. And I wanted to like basically just kind of like back onto the horse called life, if you can say that. So the theme, one of the major themes in the movie is actually isolation. It's set on a remote farm. This girl Leah, she comes to a farm and she meets this individual who suffers from a mental illness. He's bipolar, and he has a sister who is also very lonely, and they all basically, they have nothing but each other. And so they're a little bit codependent. So there we go, another theme of like obsession. Love, obviously, unrequited, obsessive love, or like maybe even unrealistic love, but it's nonetheless the love that we all need, but are unable to give, and most of all unable to accept because of like what happened to us maybe in the past. And identity and self-worth. For me, it's like quite amazing that I'm actually doing this movie, because when I went to this meeting in high school, like, you know, meeting after 10 years, and we were like talking, like we were sitting in our old classroom and like talking about what we're doing with our lives, and you know, people were like, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, and I work in a bank, and then it was me and my friend who worked as a guide in Iceland. Like, I actually know him. We lived together in Iceland, in this area, and so he was a guide, and I was, you know, working in a restaurant with this dream of making a movie. And they made fun of him that he's like this traveling gypsy or whatever, and I'm like, he lives more life than all of you combined, I guess. But what I was told when I said the movie was in the making and that I really want to make it is like my classmate, who is like, you know, very kind of like practical and like into all the money stuff and all that, would not say anything. I just remember his smirk. He'd be like, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And so I just came here and I'm making this movie, but I still can't believe it, because you obviously, like, you have to write a script, and like keeps you awake at night, and you're anxious for like, you know, a month and 4 years in the making, and then you finally meet people, and you like have those meetings, and then there's like a first script reading, and then like, you know, find an actor, and then everybody's excited about the project, and all of a sudden, like, what do you know, like there's a first shooting day, and you're like, how the hell did I come here? It's just like, it's crazy. So it's like a puzzle that, you know, you don't know how it looks like, and up until like, you know, it like starts to like look like a picture, but then eventually you have like the whole picture, and then you're like, how did that happen? I don't know how the movies are made, like any movies, honestly. Like, it's like a magical project, which is part of which, like, it excites me so much about it. But what was the question?
That did answer the question. And, you know, just talking about how the movie is made, I mean, you've told me a bit about what it took to get the barn that it's filmed in and the people that you're working with. Can you talk a little bit about how it all came together with, like, how it became a reality, how you have the barn and how you have the locals, and how people are really rallying together for you to make this become a reality?
My landlord, Maga, who is an amazing woman, she, when I told her, like, I have nowhere to shoot, but she knew that I needed, like, a barn, like an old barn, to shoot, like, a very major scene of the movie, and then, like, an abandoned house where, like, all the magic happens. She would literally just, like, pick up the phone and call her friend and, like, ask her. So I have this girl that lives with me from Slovakia, Sofia, and she needs a house, like, or a barn, like, is that possible? And long story short, next day, I know we're like driving up there, and like we're looking at the barn, and it's empty for the whole September before the sheeps come, you know, back from the mountains, and we need to like vacate the space, which is like fine by us because it's gonna be too cold in October anyway. Yeah, I mean, the barn was perfect. It had all the stuff that I need, like, you know, like old ropes. It looks very rugged. It has like all the mystery and everything, the history. And I'm like, this is like, if I dreamed a perfect location and I was like looking for it and I like hired people to find me that, I would not find it. This was just like, I was so lucky to get it. Seriously, it was like pure luck, and just like the kindness of Maga and like the people who were like, yeah, like I remember first day when we came to the house, the old house that belongs to Auki, this great man who is obviously like who likes art. But we came there, we met him for the first time. We came to the house, and it's like an old house that is supposed to be like, you know, they're gonna renovate it, and so it's like, you know, there's nothing much there, like you couldn't live there, but like there's like it looks like nobody has lived there for a while, but which is perfect for us because it needs to be kind of like rugged looking. And so we were like so excited about like every dead fly or like every like little a dark mark on the ground, or like a piece of dirt, or like a little spider, and we're like, oh, this is great, oh my god, look at that piece of mold, or whatever, you know. And then we like woke up from our like little crazy dream, and he'd be like, you guys are crazy, I'm going to work, you just like hang around, like do your thing, just like write me and close the door behind you. It's just like, it's fine, you know. I can't believe this.
No, it's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's been a beautiful journey to just watch it all come together, and you know, not fully on interview style, but just how excited I am for you to take this next step. It's an exciting and beautiful thing. So I can't wait for the premiere.
Me too.
Okay, and I think that's gonna be it.